In this video, we're going to take a look at what we have inside the Kill Team box and the videos that we have lined up for you.
That the entirety of the cosmos is accessible through each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the Studio Collectors. I know videos have been coming slightly slower than usual, but fret not, because our entire team is working behind the scenes fervently to get improvements done to our videos. So in today's video, like I mentioned, we're going to look inside what we have in this Kill Team box and the videos that me and my team are preparing so that we can all get this entire box of grey painted together. But before we begin, why don't you sign up for our Kolectiv community newsletter? Links will be in the description below and it's absolutely free. By signing up, you get exclusive updates and promotions from us, as well as little sneak peeks behind the scene, so you don't want to miss out. And best of all, this is completely free. So before we look into the Kill Team Octarius box, I'm going to give you a little quick update on the upcoming videos that we'll be producing. First off, we'll be having Sophie and her beginner explains how to do weathering. In that video, Sophie will share with you guys some quick tips and tricks of how you can weather your miniatures as well as terrain quickly, beautifully and easily. In that video, she'll be painting all the terrain as seen in this Kill Team box. And for me, I'll be starting my very own Ork Kommando Kill Team. So first off, I'll be painting the leader of the Kommandos, which is the Ork. But after that, everything is still up in the air, so let me know. Nothing is impossible, so if you really want to see me paint up a pink burner boy, comment down in the comment section below, pink burner boy, and you will get to see that. So enough about me talking about the future videos, let's go into unboxing the Kill Team Octarius box. We are now going to unbox Kill Team Octarius. Okay, it's a huge box of miniatures, and right here at the back you can see that it comes with a lot of terrain and comes with two sets of miniatures, which is Death Call of Kree, or the Hardened Veterans, or the Ork Kommandos. Okay, so what's in the box? I guess this is where it is. Okay, let's go on and let's open the box. So I'm just gonna flip this box around here. And let's look at what's inside the box. So when we first open the box, we are immediately greeted with the essentials. So these are the rulers that you'll need, and these are two combat gauges that you'll use. On top of that, it comes with barriers that you can use as sort of like obscuring terrain so that you can hide behind the barriers. Okay, this will come with the essential set. So moving on, we start off with the terrain. So you get some silos here. This silo is really amazing because it comes with a nice skull and plenty of pistons. It's really detailed because if you look over here, you can see that there's a mix of texture where there is very smooth metal that's already dented, but you get like really rusted texture here. So with the texture, you can really show that there is already two types of texture materials rather. Okay, so here we are. It's one half of the silo. And then next we get the junk piles. So these junk piles, if I'm not wrong, comes with the speed freaks. Okay, more junk piles over here. So these junk piles are gonna be pretty fun to paint. And it's nice to see that they have recycled some of the sculpts, like from the speed freak cars. And many of the materials actually look pretty interesting. Alright. So here we have more terrain. So this terrain right here, these are gonna be the walls. And as you can see, they are very varied in texture, really wonderful. More walls over here. So it looks like we have double of this. And this plastic is slightly different because it's really heavy. So it looks really solid. This feels like the made in China stuff that we've all come to see. And look at the detail here. So as from the Navy, you can see how this hatch really works. This is really awesome. Okay, so after the terrain, we've come to the models, and right here, right off the bat, we get Death Call of Kree. Then we have what appears to be the Ork spruce. So the Ork spruce comes in something like this. I suspect in the future this will be cut into half, and this is one box on its own. You can get a set of 10 commandos on its own, and it comes with the bomb squig. Okay, after that we have more Death Core Creed. So the Death Core probably would come packaged like that, and this will be snapped into half, and this will show that you can probably get 10 to 20 Death Core in one box set, similarly to what you get for the zombies. And on top of that, we get more terrain. So it looks like this is also repeated. Okay, get more repeated terrain right here. Okay, these are the heavy stuff. Okay, so after the terrain, let's go on and look at the other goodies in the box. So of course we get a poster. Not much art here. Okay, then we get, these are the cards. I think these are the tech op cards that you've seen so much. Okay, and then dice. While these are not the 16mm dice, these are still dice that you still can play the game along. And yeah, you don't really need to buy more dice from here. And of course, these are the bases. Okay, so right here, what we will get the instructions. Okay, and the rulebook. So let's look what else is in here. And of course, lastly, we have the boards and some transfers right here. So these transfers are here, and these transfers look like brand new transfers. Many details right here. So it says vehicle markings. It looks like there are going to be new vehicles that will be coming for the Death Core Creed. Perhaps, maybe, maybe not. Not too sure about that. Okay. So let's have a look at what's in here. So there's some lore book right here, speaking about Octarius. And then in here we have the tokens. So let's first look at Octarius, the instruction set. So in the instructions it's nice. It looks like we have an option of top and bottom. One model allows us to build all sorts of specialities, like the comms, the gunner, as well as the trooper. And then there's a whole bunch of random stuff that you can attach on. And shovels. Shovels are always great. Okay, so next we have the Commando Kill Team. So the Commando, probably it looks like there are options. You can have a robotic arm, or you could have him carrying an axe. You also have an option of face to see whether you want to place him with a helmet or you want to place him with just a jockey hat. So the Commando boy here, this is the close combat specialist. You can have him with 2 knives, or of course with the helmet again. So it looks like every single sculpt has 2 options. I think my favorite of the boys right here would be the burner boy. The burner boy looks very exciting to paint because of the object source lighting. And the next one that I'm really interested about is the Daka boy right here. I like that he's wearing a beanie, and definitely I'll have him wear the beanie in my Q team. Okay, so for this it looks like the terrain might not be modular because scrap piles are here. It doesn't look like there are much options. It looks like they're just going to be walls and L-shaped walls. Makes it not stackable, but alright. I'll buy this because it's easy. It's pretty good value for money because there are a lot of terrain in this. Okay, so now let's look at the rulebook to see if there are things that we should consider about. So from the picture it looks like it builds 1, 2, 3, 4 walls and some piles right here, and then the barriers. Okay, so for the rulebook, it doesn't have the kill teams, or it talks about the models right here. It doesn't talk about what goes in a fire team, what goes in a kill team. So off the top of my head, because I don't really play the game, but I listened to some of the unboxings, what essentially is that in a kill team there are a number of fire teams that might be involved. So each fire team has a set of models that you have to pick. So you have the option of choosing which fire teams are in your kill team, and that's how you build a kill team. Gone are the days where you get to choose every single model and their loadout, but now they've streamlined it so that you can quickly build up a kill team from some fire teams, and that's how you do that. Okay, so these are some of the rules right here. Okay, I'm gonna look at the required boards to see whether there are any other ways to build the boards. Okay, match roster, spec ops, narrative play. Alright. So it looks like there might be no setups. Oh, there we are. I think there should be some setups that require the terrain to be specified. I think it's somewhere in there. I'll definitely have a closer look at this, because you definitely don't want to see me flip through this book. Alright. So after looking at this, we're going to look at the Octarius book. So I think the Octarius book is more like a narrative play. This is definitely very reminiscent of Curse City for some reason. Okay. This is where the lore is. This is where you get to choose the names of your kill team. And I think this is where we talk about the various kill teams. Okay, so in the companion book, this is all well and covered. Okay, so it looks like these are standardized. There are no options to build them any other different way. Okay. So as you can see, what is required here is 1, 2, 3, 4 walls. Center kill zone and some piles of dirt. So it looks like you put the walls together, you get bigger, longer walls. We definitely need to see whether we can recreate these walls. Such that we do not need to buy another set of kill team. Not that we can buy. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now let's go build up some terrain. So now that we've unboxed the Kill Team Octarius box, let's take a deeper look at what we have for terrain. One fun thing I realized about the terrain is that you can put all the terrain together and form a gigantic scrap heap. That is something really cool that I can appreciate from this Kill Team terrain set. Of course, we also want to make sure that the instruction provided is correct, because the last time round we followed the instructions for Warcry, it made some of the scenarios unplayable. So let's take a closer look at the terrain right now. Alright, so here we have Gas helping us to assemble the terrain. So from what I see in the terrain is that the terrain is definitely made from a different type of plastic. It's definitely thicker and it's a lot more dense, so the terrain is really heavy. And sometimes it can be a little bit tough to remove the nubs, and what you can see here, Gas is using a knife in a controlled fashion to remove the burrs, which are the areas that are connected to the sprue. Do take your time with this. If you need to use a knife, do be very careful because the burrs can be a little bit tough. Alternatively, what you could do is use some sandpaper, or you can always use a Dremel to just grind the parts away. Okay? As you can see, Gas is doing it really carefully with very little risk of cutting himself. And just looking at this makes me really worried, because yeah, using a knife always makes me very worried. Okay. So as you can see, there are a lot of burrs on the model, so you just gotta clear it off so that the parts fit together. But all in all, the parts are actually pretty well molded. Alright, so now that the burrs are cleared, we can now test fit. And the fit for the models are really good. It's not really modular like what you see on Warcry. There's only one way to build the model, so yeah. So we're just using super glue, putting them into the parts where glue should be applied, and they fit perfectly. Wonderful. One point is that you should always hold it and make sure you test all the parts before you glue them, because sometimes some of these chunky bits look like model but they are actually burrs and they affect the way it fits together. So what I would recommend is do a dry fit first before gluing them together. So the model should actually stand even without the support at the bottom. So they have this little support that you can glue right here. This support doesn't have a fixed area of joining, so I've heard some of my friends tell me that, hey, not sure where to glue it. So anywhere along any of the horizontal beams or anywhere where the beams intersect would be a good point to glue this. Try not to glue it on the roof itself because it will make the height not tall enough. Now that we have taken a closer look at the terrain, we're going to see what's up with the Ork Kommando team. I want to see some size comparisons to see how they size up with a standardized primary space marine. Alright, so let's look at some details and look at how he compares with a primary space marine. Okay, so this is the Ork Kommando Nob compared to the primary space marine. What I can say is that he is definitely larger than the rest of the Commando boys. So the Kill Team Octarius Box has really gotten me really excited, and I can't wait to paint up my entire Commando, and I can't wait to paint up my Commando Ork Kill Team. So as a gentle reminder, sign up for our Kolectiv community newsletter and links will be right down below. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. Hope you found this video enjoyable or even useful, and if you did, give us a like and subscribe because it helps us grow the channel and it helps me a lot. Want to support the channel even further? Head on to our Patreon and become a patron, because every dollar that you put forth towards the channel helps us create more videos like this. I thank you all for watching all the way to the end, and I hope to see you in the next Kill Team painting video. See you!